All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out my channel. So what I want to get into today is women a lot of times thinking they're not attractive for some reason or another. And I see this a lot, and especially with me kind of helping men and women with image consulting. And I run across a lot of women, and I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of them, I'm not kidding, will say, you know what, I look like shit, right? You know, if I don't get my makeup on, I look like shit. If I don't get my hair done, I look like shit. If my nails aren't done, I feel and look like I'm shit. Um, Also, as they age, a lot of times, let's call it for what it is, they start to feel like, maybe their weight, they're gaining a lot of weight, or maybe they don't like the way their skin looks. And it's understandable. Let's face it, we all age. We are not going to look the same when we're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. One of my Italian aunts, or I think she used to say, when we're young, we're all beautiful. And here's the deal when it comes to beauty. And I did something similar with men, not realizing how handsome most guys are. They don't realize it. They think, most guys that I know think they look like shit. Or they either think they look like they're either too skinny, they're too fat, or their complexion, they wish they were darker, they were lighter, or they acne, or they wish they had better hair, better facial hair, all these different types of things. They don't realize they look really good, especially as they age. But either they program themselves or other people have programmed them to make them feel like they're not handsome. Or they're kind of comparing themselves to maybe celebrities or some bullshit. But when it comes to women, I'm telling you, a lot of the insecurities, they don't need to be there. Now, you can be as insecure as you want. And I go through this with my daughters all the time. But I'm going to tell you, I grew up in the fashion industry. I also went to modeling school and did modeling when I was younger. I get it, the beauty thing, and how some women, are exceptionally beautiful. They have exceptional bodies and all this type of thing. And we do compare ourselves to others. I get it. But I'm here to tell you, for the most part, women out there, most men are not obsessed with kind of the look, I guess you could say, or the way you look all the time. I know you want to look and feel your best, most likely, right? Same with style and all that, and anyone could appreciate that. But I'm here to tell you, if you aren't always wearing makeup, or you don't always have your hair done, or you're not always in the shape that you think you should be in, most men are not obsessed with looking at you and degrading you or thinking anything negative. But a lot of times you see women, and I think a lot of times, let's admit it, they're competing more with other women than they are anything else. Why? I have no idea. Because I do think, don't get me wrong, men compete with men a lot of times, but I would say it's more in a physical type thing. I think it's like more sports orientated. Sure, maybe here and there a guy would be like, oh, but I don't, most guys I know aren't competing with other guys' style or fashion or caught up with who's the more handsome. A lot of times we just know who may be better looking than other people and who isn't. But I'm telling you, women, a lot of times, you may be out there and you just, you may look amazing, but you think you look like shit. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you. And it could be the way you're dressed a lot of times. I get you're not always going to, be stylized to a certain degree, but just because you're not doesn't mean you look like shit. You may look great just wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but you may feel like you're sloppy and whatever, but a lot of guys out there may be like, you look beautiful. Same with women. I'm not just saying this just to compare, what you think men should or whoever, but you don't realize how beautiful you may really be. And I think for some reason we were programmed to think we were either ugly or not that attractive, or if I don't do certain things, then I shouldn't go out in public. If my hair's not a certain way, or or again my makeup or my skincare, or again it may be a certain weight. And I get a lot of us want to look a certain way physically, but you may have ups and downs where you gained a little weight, especially if you have children. Especially if you maybe had an illness or maybe something happened where you gained a little weight or maybe you lost too much weight. Either way, I think we have sometimes these unrealistic expectations of what we should look like. And I was the king of that as far as wanting to be huge. No matter how big I got, I always felt small. And I finally had to get over that and say, gosh, this is a mental illness. I mean, this is unbelievable. I call it reverse anorexiism. But I do think a lot of us have these things in our head where in public we feel if we go out, we don't look a certain way, that we look like shit to everyone else, or we feel like shit. And I don't think it's fair to ourselves. I really don't. And I'm not telling anybody to settle and not try to look their best or not try to get as healthy as possible or not take care of their skin care or hygiene or any of that. But women, I'm telling you, a lot of things that you may be going through are really just in your own head. And it can take a toll on you. I'm telling you. And it can just really affect a lot of things in your life. And I give a lot of advice regarding relationships. And, I have a program, Mastering Self-Confidence, where I try to help men find the woman or women of their dreams. And a lot of times I talk about, dating and things in that nature. And I think sometimes even, again, when you're going out on a date or meeting men or whatever the case may be, I get you want to look your best a lot of times. But I do talk about trying to be as natural as possible. I think sometimes women and men go over the top. Now, I'm not saying not to dress up, especially depending on where you got to go. But I do think there's a fine line between, maybe displaying who you truly are a lot of times. If you are overly made up, and have makeup or overly dressed a lot of times and all this type of image and stuff, and that's not who you are, in the long run, try to get a hold of that. A lot of men or women or whoever, I mean, let's face it, we want to know what this person looks like naturally, I think. And I don't know when that went out of style, but I think the quicker we get back to everyone being a little more natural and not so obsessed with, maybe it could be hair plugs, toupees, it could be hair extensions, it could be Botox, it could be all these different types of things. It is what it is, but I really believe in the long run, if you're with somebody and they love you for who you are, they have the common sense that we're all going to age. We're not going to be, usually getting or looking younger. But I do think a lot of people, again, go too far. It could be with plastic surgery again and many other things. I don't know who, again, framed or programmed, especially women and men, I should say, but a lot of women to making themselves think they're ugly or thinking that they're not attractive or thinking that if they don't do all these other things that people aren't going to like them or people aren't going to respect them or be attracted to them and all these different types of things, which I think is a lot of nonsense. So that's my 2 cents. You may disagree with me. But if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to hit me up. CELENZA.com is my website. And like I said, I try to help men and women with their image, identity, and a lot of it has to do with style, fashion, also hygiene, fitness, and all these different types of things. And I'm telling you, don't take everything so damn serious. If you look at life a lot of times, it's just about going out and enjoying each other's company and not always being obsessed with the way we look. And believe me, that's coming from me, who I'm really kind of somebody who tries to help people look and feel their best. But there does come a point where I want people to be comfortable, not where you have to do something where you're feeling uncomfortable, especially if you don't look a certain way, a lot of times feeling like you're not worthy and depressing yourself because you don't look that way. That's the last thing I want. I want people to have confidence if they're wearing makeup, if they're not wearing it, if they're a certain type of weight. It may not be perfect. That goes for men or women. So, all right. I wish everyone nothing but the best.